Dear student, welcome back to our channel Clear Plus. Through this video, we are going to discuss about the SARS, the topic specially from chapter 1, which is known as electrostatics, from class 12 physics. Okay, so through this video, we are just going to discuss about what is SARS, what is the base or origin of SARS, what is the charging, different charging method, and some applications of conduction of charge in our day-to-day life. So don't waste time, you just keep on watching till the end.
In Unit 1, we are going to study about electrostatics. So its name is sufficient to understand. Electrostatics, electro from electron, and statics means at rest. And again we can say electron is one kind of charge. So that means throughout the unit we are going to study about various characteristics and properties of charge which is at rest. Now the question arises, what is charge? Or what is the base or origin of charge? Simply, we can define charge is the properties of matter. It's the properties of matter just like mass, due to which electrical or other related effects are produced. Okay. In very short, we are going to discuss it properly. What is actually for that? Just correlate between charge and mass, since both are the fundamental properties of matter. There are some basic difference between the two, as for example you can say mass is always a positive quantity, electric charge may be positive or negative, or again we can say force between masses is always attractive in nature, but force between same like charges are repulsive, or say suppose in between two opposite charges, force between them. Now let's go to the origin of charge. For that, we are going to discuss the following experiment properly. It was experimentally observed that, say, two rubber rod. So this is origin of charge. Say two rubber rod. This is placed by this way. So there is no problem. Both are of rubber. Both the rod are of rubber. But it was experimentally observed that when both the rubber rod rubbed with far, then it was observed that both going to repulse each other. And again, say one rubber rod, and again another glass rod. This is of glass. And same way, it is rubbed with, say suppose fur, and say suppose the glass rod is rubbed with silk. Now it is very interesting, both are going to attract each other. This is the most important observation about the concept of charge. From the observation we can conclude that charge is the fundamental quantity, something going to happen here, for which the same rubber rod going to repulse each other, and one rubber rod, one glass rod, initially, mind it, initially both are placed by this way, cool, there is no problem, they are neutral, there is no attraction as well as repulsion, there is also no attraction as well as repulsion. But problem comes when they are rubbed with fur, and again when rubber is rubbed with fur and the glass rod is rubbed with silk. Now this is the base or origin of the charge. It was Benjamin Franklin who called the glass rod was positively charged, and the same rubber rod, after rubbing with fur, it was negatively charged. That means when one positively charged object and one negatively charged object come very close or very near, they are going to attract. Same way both the rubber rod and both the rod rubbed with fur, then it is negatively charged. It also negatively charged, but it was observed that they are going to repulse. So this is the most important observation about the. So at present, this is the concept that there are two types of charge, one of positive type, another of negative type. The positives are called as proton, and the negatives called as electron. Both proton and electron contain same amount of charge. So proton contain 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and one electron contain minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Now there is an important fact. Is there any sense of mass when an electrically neutral body becomes charged, means positively charged or negatively charged? Answer is yes. When a body becomes negatively charged, it means that say this is an electrically neutral body. Neutral means say it contains 10 proton, at the same time it contains 10 electron also. As you know that one, there is nucleus, and around at the center, in the center of the atom, this is nucleus, and around the nucleus electrons revolved in a circular path. At the nucleus you will get proton plus neutron, and the circular path which revolve around the nucleus, these are the electrons. When a body electrically neutral, it means that in the circular path total, say for example 10 electrons are there. At the same time we can say there are 10 proton at the or inside the nucleus. It means the body is electrically neutral. Now question is that when it becomes negatively charged, or say suppose positively charged, is there any change of mass? Answer is yes. How? Say suppose it becomes negatively charged, it means that extra electron is added to it. Then it becomes, say suppose one extra electron from outside comes here. So then what is going to happen? Amount of electron will increase. Now it becomes minus 11 electron. That means 11 number of electron. Charge is negative type, that's why negative, and 10 proton. So as a result, it becomes negatively charged because one electron is more. Since one electron contains some masses and the amount of mass is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg, it means that when the body negatively charged, its mass always increases. At the same time we can say if the body becomes positively charged, it lost electron. So that means for each electron it lost that amount of kg. So as a result it loses its mass. Now let's discuss about the method of charging. There are three different methods of charging: conduction, induction and friction. So first take the example of conduction. Very easy that one. In case of conduction, most important point is that physical contact. Physical contact means that one, say this is initially negatively charged rod, any rod negatively charged, and this is an electrically neutral body. That means total amount of charge here is 0. That means it contains same amount of electron and same amount of proton at the nucleus. Okay. At present there is a gap between the rod and the electrically neutral body, so there is no effect, it will remain same. Now say suppose it is connected here, the rod touch the electrically neutral body. Now what is going to happen? Some amount of free electrons definitely move to the electrically neutral body, and after that when the rod removes from here, then what is going to happen? The electrically neutral body also slightly negatively charged. So this is the process of conduction where physical contact must. Now let's go to the second method, which is known as friction. It is very simple, as we have studied earlier. Simply the rubbing. The rubber rod rubbed with fur, the glass rod rubbed with silk. These are the process of friction. These are the process of friction by which the rubber rod becomes negatively charged, and at the same time fur becomes positively charged, or same way glass becomes positively charged, silk cloth becomes negatively charged. During rubbing, the glass rod loses free electron, and that electron comes to the silk cloth. As a result, it becomes negatively charged. Since the glass rod loses electron, it becomes positively charged. Simply, this is the process of friction. Here also physical contact is there. Physical contact. During the friction process, I would like to mention some simple phenomena observed in our day-to-day life also. Say you, or say suppose me, sitting in a plastic chair, and when suddenly stand up, the dry hair of our hand stands up and is attracted by the plastic chair. Same thing happening here. Initially the plastic chair and the dry hair of our hand becomes electrically neutral, but due to rubbing, accumulation of charges as there is an transfer of charges from our dry hair to plastic charges takes place, and that's why it gives some significant movement. Another example I would like to mention related to the friction or physical contact. Say suppose a polyester shirt removed from our body gives sparks in dirt. This is also a frictional process. Or say suppose one more example. When you touch the body of a car, we may get mild shock. Condition is that the car gets electrically charged when it runs in dry air. That means when a car coming from dry air, it runs long way, and again sometimes if we touch the body of the car, we may get mild shock. So these are some simple example about the frictional process of the method of charging. Now let's discuss the third method, third and last one, which is known as induction. During that, most important point is there is no physical contact. There is no physical contact between the two body. Now what is going to happen, you see, say this is a strong positively charged rod, and nearby it this is an electrically neutral body. Due to that strong positive charge, what is going to happen? The free electrons of that body comes near surface to this positively charged rod, and as a result the other surface of the body becomes positively charged. Since the free electrons come to that side, it becomes the other side becomes positively charged. These are said to be bound charge. These are said to be bound charge, and these are free charge now. Okay, because these charges are bound by the positive charge of the rod. Okay, and these are free because at the same time these free positive charges are going to be repulsed by this positively charged rod. Now if we connect it to the ground, what is going to happen? Surely this free charge leaves the body, this free positive charge leaves the body and goes to the ground or earth. As a result, the whole body becomes negatively charged. So this is the process of induction, where there is no physical contact between the electrically neutral body and the charged body. I would like to mention one example of induction process I have noticed in last year in electric media news, where it was shown that there is a house but there is no electric connection in the house. but it contains current. It gives mild shock to the people when it touches the roof or some electrical conducting part of the house. But surprisingly, there was no connection. But at the same time, it was mentioned that above the house, high power electric lines was carry on. So this is the process of induction. We can explain it with the help of that. Though there is no electric connection, due to the process of induction, for this high power electric wires, due to induction process, maybe the roofs or some electrically conducting material of the house gets charged, and when we touch these parts or roofs, then we get mild shock.
I think all of you understand the topic properly. If you think that it is very helpful for you, then please like the video, share the video, and subscribe our channel for such type of videos in coming days. Till then, thank you.